All right, guys, good evening. I wanted to do this YouTube video. So we've been putting out a little more content on Cutler Nutrition. I'm sitting in my home office right now, which you can see behind me is the Sandow trophies. Now, let me bring you a little closer to that. Get up out of my seat so you guys can kind of see. So, little history here, guys, okay? Now, winning the Olympia in 06, 7, 9, and 10, okay? 4 of these bad boys. And I always talk about this with the Sandow trophies is not back then, okay? Now it's a little different today because the Sandow trophies have changed. It's a lot taller now. You saw that like for the 50th anniversary when Phil won in 2014, okay, which was the year after I retired. But no trophy is the same. So if you look at these trophies, okay, how the bar leans and whatever else, you can see some of them are kind of bent. But check this one out. So this bar actually spins where the others do not, okay? And even the shape, if you could actually see a little color. But see how this bar, the angle of it, where this one, check out this one. See how angled it is? Where this one is a little more straight up. I mean, even the balls are a different size and whatever else at the end of the dumbbells. But a little bit of history there. Got the Arnold Classic trophy sitting right over in that corner. But I wanted to come on and talk to you guys. I'm going to take you guys off this tripod. I'm shooting this in my home office, like I said. And I want to talk a little bit about history of the Mr. Olympia, all right? So there is this story about Joe Weider, and he was sitting, and I believe having a beer with Larry Scott, who was 1965, was the first Mr. Olympia that came into existence, right? And for you guys that don't know, Joe Weider was the father of bodybuilding. He was the guy that brought Schwarzenegger over from Austria. He brought me from Massachusetts to California to be closer. He owned Weider Publications. He owned, Weider Supplements, and he gave me my first contract when I was only 22 years old. And, he was a huge, huge mentor to me. He taught me a lot about, life after bodybuilding to prepare, even though I was at the very beginning. He shared his knowledge with me, talked about investing money, putting money towards great things. And of course, I had great mentors around me. Also, my buddy Bruce that I grew up with back in Massachusetts, and also Chris Aceto, who really told me, hey, this isn't going to last forever. Monetize, your success and, invest money. And of course, I bought real estate. You guys know I moved to Las Vegas, told this a million times. I came for the real estate, not only to win the Mr. Olympia, but to invest. And that really kind of gave me the upward trajectory towards all the success that I've had in business. And I can talk about business forever and, taking chances. That's kind of and relationships. And there's a lot of aspects to business. And especially you have to have the passion for it. You have to have the learning, you need to go through learning curves in order to, want to learn about it, want to read. I spent a lot of time reading. I still spend a lot of nights, sitting in this office researching, especially for the supplement brand and, looking at different content pieces that I can do because I'm working now towards being ageless, especially at 50 years old, turning 51. But when Larry Scott and Joe Weider were sitting around talking, this was a great gift from my friend Dr. Zach, okay, out in UK. So big shout out to Dr. Zach. This is actually called the Olympia beer. And this was the beer that they were sitting and drinking. And he told Larry Scott at the time there was the Mr. Universe and Mr. World and all these other things. But he wanted to come up with a contest. And if you can see this closely, this is actually the Olympia beer. And they were sitting there sipping this beer. And Larry said, what are you going to call this contest? And he said, Mr. Olympia. And he was drinking this Olympia beer. So some of you guys may recognize this, but this is the actual can of beer. I'm going to hold it a little closer, okay? So that's that. I want to talk a little bit about some of the cool things that I got to do because I don't get to show this a lot. So this was a pretty cool opportunity I had probably around 2004. So this is called the Muscle Machines, okay? These die-cast cars, they were toy collection cars. This is a trading card inside. You see this? This was a magazine cover, but all these trading cards these were sold through AutoZone, and they're still collector's pieces. You guys might be able to find these somewhere on the internet, but this is the one that I have, okay? You can see my image on here. They're called Muscle Machines, okay? This was a cool opportunity for me. So these were in every AutoZone around, and you know, if you collected all of these, you got a different car with each one of these covers. So there were 6 different die-cast cars. And I don't know if you, as a youngster, people that are around my age, I collected a lot of Matchbox cars. So this is actually a really cool, it says age 8 and up, by the way, right in the corner right here, age 8 and up. This is a really cool concept. And something that is history for me, right? I look at, there's so much memorabilia in this room, and I'm going to talk probably about that in the future, but I figured this would be a cool time to come on here and talk a little bit about like my proud accomplishments, because people always ask like, hey, what kind of memories, or, you know, what I'm getting a lot of lately is people say, what would you change, or what do you regret, or what do you suggest? And to be honest, man, like, it's really hard for me to say I regret this, because there's nothing. I mean, I felt like I kind of had like a kind of like, you know, I had roadblocks, but that's what challenged me. I mean, Ronnie Coleman was the biggest one, right? And I'm actually filming this. Today is Ronnie Coleman's 60th birthday. But man, like, the good times and the struggles are great memories all around. But I'll be honest, I'll be truthful with you guys, that the come up, like before I was Mr. Olympia, were probably the most memorable, because I was really striving to be something that I never imagined I could, right? You took steps. And like I said, the first time I realized I could be Mr. Olympia is when I get second to Ronnie in 2000, 2001 at a couple contests. It actually happened on a tour in 2000. And then, of course, we met again at the Olympia, and it was a very close decision. But that's when I first realized I could actually do this. And, that's kind of where I realized my greatness. And I actually posted today, thank you, Ronnie, for helping me realize my greatness, because we all have certain journeys that we strive for. And I couldn't have asked for a better journey than being Mr. Olympia, guys. Like, obviously I won a lot of titles, Arnold Classics, Night of Champions, San Francisco Pro or Pro Ironman, and, of course, multiple Arnold, multiple Mr. Olympia winners. And most people can boast about that stuff, but to be honest, man, I'm honored. I'm completely honored to be able to do that and have these kind of things to show as like history pieces, right? And I sit in this office at night, and I look around this room, and man, what an achievement, right? You never imagined as a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said this in a DVD, and I'm going to leave you guys with this. Kids have this vision of being professional athletes. They want to be doctors. They want to be lawyers. I truly wanted to be a bodybuilder. I truly wanted to be, from the time I was 5, 7, 9, 12. I have pictures of me flexing, and I'm going to showcase those someday, because that's going to be the documentary. And I'm very proud to say that. But I appreciate you guys following along. Please comment below if you have had the opportunity to shake hands with me, bump fists, cross paths, maybe even read something that I did. Guys, please comment, engage, share this video, send this to a friend, subscribe to this, because every Monday I'm releasing a new video on Cutler Nutrition YouTube, and I'm doing a ton of other YouTube channels. As you know, I just broke 1 million on J Cutler TV, but I appreciate you guys so much. Cutler Nation, we're out there doing it. So